Hey guys, this is John, and nice treat today. I'm playing Christof Sielecki, the international master from Germany, and he is Chessexplained on YouTube and ICC. And we're doing a dual commentary video today, so he's also doing commentary of this match. We're going to play 2 games of 5+1, and we're going to play the game straight through, and then we're going to do some analysis at the end separately. So you guys will get a little taste of both of our playing styles, commentary, and analysis as well. So we're playing this game. It's about 4 o'clock for me, Midwestern time, Central time in the US. And I believe for Christof, it's 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. in Germany. So a little bit later for him. He said he had a long day working. So I'm going to take it easy on him. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Let's see what to do in this position. I think I could play knight takes, and then after pawn takes, I have to watch out for queen a5 check stuff is the only thing. This pawn's hanging here. I could go bishop g3, but I'm a little bit wary of him taking and then taking again on d4. I'm not sure I like the look of that. Let's do that, though, because that seems like it could unbalance the position in an interesting way. So let's see. We played a game the other day, and he beat me in that one, so I went back and looked at our game history. That's the only game we played against each other, surprisingly. So we're very much new opponents to one another. I'd expect him to play b6 here and try to fin kettle the light square bishop. Yeah, he does. So now I have to figure out how I want to play it. Bishop d3 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, let's just go bishop d3. He'll play bishop b7. Now, maybe I want to go c4. I don't know. Let's just castle. Let's postpone any decision about whether to play in the center or not. Okay, so here. So maybe now knight h5 is a problem. Minor problem. So it probably would behoove me to play h3 and just give the bishop a retreat square to go to h2. My queen probably should end up on e2. This structure we have right now actually reminds me a lot of a semi-Tarrasch opening. And the queen really belongs on e2 because it doesn't want to clog up the c or the d files. Those are the natural files for the rooks. So, I mean, a very standard plan here would be queen e2 and then push e4 for white. And I'm curious how he'll oppose that plan. He could play simply, let's say, rook c8, and if I go queen e2, maybe queen d7. Although queen d7 puts me in range of his queen with knight e5, so maybe he won't do that. He's taking some time in this position. I've definitely noticed that Christof knows a lot of theory in the opening, so I played knight f3 to kind of avoid some of his knowledge potentially. This is an interesting decision, which way to take. I think this capture makes a little bit more sense in this situation, so that's what I'll play. Capture towards the center. I just didn't want to end up with a backward c pawn or hanging pawns on the C and D files, should I have captured the other way. I think this is pretty comfortable for me. I have some nice ideas at hand. Okay, rook c7, is that anything? Rook c7, bishop d6. No, I can take, and then this bishop hangs. Rook c7, bishop somewhere else. Just be really nice if I could exploit the position of his queen. Might not be possible, though. I really do like the look of rook c7, though. It's a nice move. Let's do it. I'm not running into any issues on g2 yet. So I gotta be wary if he tries to deflect my knight in some way, but that's hard to do. So I don't think he'll go for that. He could just play bishop d8 here, But in that case, I can go to c2 and maybe argue that I've like gained some sort of tempo or something. This bishop blocking his rooks. Bishop d8 is probably the best move here. On bishop d8, I can almost play bishop c4. Because then after... he'd have to go queen e4 then. And then I can go bishop d3 and repeat the position if I want. So I may do that. Just to see how he plays it. Yeah, let's repeat the position once. I don't see any downside to doing this. So let's do it. He has to play queen e4. It'd be really nice if I could go knight d2 or knight g5 or something. It's not possible. So let's just repeat. And then I think I'm going to go back with my rook to c2. Yeah, let's go all the way back to c2. Knight e4 is interesting. Because if knight e4 and I play bishop h2, he might be able to play knight g5 favorably. He just settles for rook c8. Well, now I can trade and maybe go queen a4. Looks decent. Yeah, just off the top of my head, I like that. So let's go after that and attack his pawn on a7. Now I've got rook c1 coming. I'd expect him to play a5 in this position. a5 looks really normal. Plays queen b7. It's a little bit passive. Okay, rook c1. No reason not to play this move. Bishop d7. Okay. So if I offer to trade queens now with queen a6, can I squeeze him in any fashion after that? I like that. I think that's a promising endgame for me. Because he's going to have a hard time moving these bishops. He probably needs to go knight d5 in this position. But then I can potentially play a3. Okay, he goes for knight e4 instead. What about bishop c7 now? That blocks my... Bishop b8 would be interesting. I wonder about bishop b8. Let's see how he plays after that. I just wonder about that move. I kind of like it because he could put his bishop on e7 or f6. Those are the two most obvious squares. Sorry about that noise. There's like a moving truck outside my house or something. Let's see there. How about bishop e5 now? Makes sense. Wait, why can't I just take on a7? Take on a7. He goes rook a8. I go rook c7. He moves his bishop somewhere. Yeah, but then I have like bishop rook c8 if I need to. Just trade stuff. Yeah, that looks good, right? Yeah, let's do that. I'm still ahead on time by about 30-some seconds. So I like what I'm seeing. If he plays bishop e8, I still have rook c8. It's nice. So, yeah, I'll probably do that. Don't know if I need to make that determination quite yet, though. Bishop back to d3. Now let's just play for this endgame. Yeah, let's just do for this. This has got to be a good endgame. I mean, he might be able to somehow draw this, but it's gonna be rough for him. It's gonna be really rough. Let's keep this knight at bay. Let's bring this guy up to d3. And then maybe I can kick his knight away at some point. Actually, his knight doesn't have any squares now. Let's do that. It's trapped. Oh wait, no, it's not. Never mind. It is not a trapped piece. Let's go here.
Check.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play a little bit faster now because the clock is becoming a bigger factor. Let's see. Let's maybe prepare f4. Yeah, let's do that. Knight g5, yep. Do I give a check? Do I do something else?
Time warning.
Let's just do this. Bring the king up. Don't want to let him escape with a opposite color bishop ending. It's kind of looking like what might happen. Let's go back and see. Problem is for him, this is not a strong. I might be able to zug him somehow. Let's see. Yeah, this is a draw. Don't see any way to trick him. Yeah, it's a draw. Okay. Yeah, I kind of blew that game. I was probably just winning, but okay, we're going to analyze it afterwards. So here comes the rematch. Gotta shake it off. Like Taylor Swift says, shake it off, shake it off. Even though I was winning that one. Oh well. It was an interesting game. I just wasn't thinking about the transition to the opposite color bishop endgame. And we played knight g5, that kind of threw me. I'm varying from what we did last time. I'm going to go knight bd7 in this position. In the game we played previously where he was white,
check.
I did this bishop, this capture on c4 and an early bishop out to g4. So here we're playing like a Cambridge Springs type line. In the Cambridge Springs, the knight would be on c3. Here it just ended up on d2, but it's very similar. Yeah, and he does this to avoid any problems with me, like taking on c4 or whatnot. Okay, I think I should go bishop c4, or bishop b4 to pin him. Let's do that. Yep, plays a3. I don't have to move that quite yet. So let's just castle. Because he is pinned, so he's not threatening my bishop yet. I just expect him to play bishop d3 in this position. Just normal. Really normal. Yeah, it's too bad about that last game. I thought I had something, but just let him slip away into the opposite color bishop ending. Wow, he goes kingside. Wasn't really expecting that. Might be okay, though. So now, I kind of have to take on d2, don't I? Taking on a3 would be extreme. That can't be sound. So we're not going to do that. Let's take here. And now, just take again. He takes with the queen, so he's content to play for the endgame. Thought he was going to play rook takes. Alright.
Check.
I mean, he's got the bishop pair in this endgame, but I think I'm pretty solid. Oh, that's not a truck. That's a gigantic snowplow outside my house. We've had some snow here recently. Rook e8. So now I'm playing this to maybe get in e5 at some point. So he goes bishop back. Makes sense. I want to free myself, but it's not easy. It's not simple. b6. b6 is normal. Let's go b6. Yeah, I think this is pretty equalish. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, but I don't think I'm that much worse, if at all, here. Okay, so which way to take now? If I take here, bishop b5, I guess, is his point. And maybe he has some pressure. So let's take the other way. This looks like a structural concession, but I think it's fine. No, I'll play bishop to b7. Probably reroute my knight in, try to get it to e4 eventually. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to move my light square bishop and then figure out where I want my knight. The only plan I'm somewhat worried he might undertake is a plan involving f3 and e4. Okay, so for now, let's just go bishop b7. I think he pretty much has to develop his bishop to d3 or e2. He might just be debating which square is better. I wouldn't postpone that decision any further if I were him. Yeah. It's tempting just to send my knight into e4, but I want to be accurate. Maybe a6 and try to get in c5. Let's go knight f6. I don't know about the c5 plan. That doesn't seem quite appropriate in this position. Let's just do like this. No. Knight e4. Knight e4, he can go bishop f4. Do I care, though? Do I even care? Let's go knight e4. I'm just curious what he'll do. Wow, he just doubles. He doesn't seem to mind if I take him. So that kind of indicates he's going to do some sort of minority attack. Like b4? I mean, he's really gearing up for that. So let's just lift our rook and protect this. I don't want him sacrificing the exchange in the future, maybe. So what if I just probe this? Dare I play a6? Don't know how much I like that idea, but it might be okay. g6. Let's do this. You're going to play a4. I would like to keep him a little more tied down to the f2 pawn if I could. So I could play rook f6 here. And let's say there, take on b5, take. Say I take again. I need a Luft move somehow, though. I need a Luft move. Need my king to be a little bit more free. b5, take, take, rook a2. Don't like that rook a2 move. Don't like it. Using a lot of time here, though. G6. All right, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I just don't see what else to do. Okay, he does that. Well, let's remind him of that pawn is weak. Okay, I'm going to have to move fairly fast at this point. Let's just get the back rank problem solved. This is sort of passive, but if I can play my rook over to e8, and then maybe, well, now maybe this should be okay. If he takes, it's a tough decision which way to take back. A little bit tricky of a decision. I'm not relishing having to make that decision. I probably will take with my a-pawn. Seems prudent. He has trouble getting his king over to the queen side.
Time warning.
Okay, let's just go h6, stop him from going g5. Okay, now I can play bishop c8, and at least I'll gain a tempo on his pawn, always. So that's nice. If he takes here, I've just already made up my mind. Let's go here. Okay, so now we're locked up. Quite locked up. He can try to prepare e4 though, so that would be his main plan. Question is, can he favorably prepare that? He's going to go for it. Okay. And take that way. Okay, I'll go here. I'll defend with his king. No, he doesn't. Interesting. Rook e5, maybe? King f6. Kind of passive. A little passive. Okay, now I lose the g5 pawn if he goes and takes it. It's maybe not so bad though.
Check.
Actually, probably is bad. On time, I'm doing well though. This is no good.
Check.
Yeah, this is no good, guys. I'm losing. Yeah, this is bad. Bad news. Alright, I resign. Those are some good games. I lost that one at the end when I played g5. That wasn't so good. Well, I should have won the first one, and this last one I was kind of defending for a while. So, yeah, I'm going to close this board and then open a new one. Let's examine this. Go all the way through this first one. So I played knight f3, and then we got this queen's gambit declines. Rook c1. And c5 and take. I think bishop g3 is interesting in this position. Give him the option of taking on c3. Because if I take here, as I was kind of going into, think after takes, like I have to reckon with the possibility of queen a5 check, or maybe him taking on d4 and then going bishop e4 check. So I think in this position, I like bishop g3, and I like the position I got. Trade, he goes here. I went bishop d3. And now h3. I think that's good because it rules out some issues with knight h5. It'll always make sure I have a retreat square for my bishop to h2. So he took, I took this way. I'm just curious if the engine thinks any other capture is decent. No. I mean, just debating between c takes and e takes. C takes seems more harmonious. I get 2 pawns in the center versus his single pawn in the center. And I don't have hanging pawns to deal with in the middle. So that was okay. Let's see, gonna stop this engine. He went queen d5. I brought my rook in. Yeah, so here, I just repeated moves on general principles. I mean, I'm up a decent amount of time. I can repeat, so I just take the opportunity to do so. I don't think I missed any tactics. Ooh, unless... maybe I did miss something. I think I'm kind of seeing now. Maybe I could have played e4, and then after take, rook e1. Aha, and then if here, go here. And then take this bishop, because his queen doesn't have any way to defend that piece. That'd be annoying if I missed that. That's really annoying. I don't think he can sack his queen for enough either. Like, he could play bishop takes c7, but I take here. If he takes my second rook, I take his bishop. So probably, let's say take here. Rook d7. Well, actually, I don't know. This might be kind of unclear after this move. Maybe he does get a little material bump from this. Because it really felt I was on the brink of having some sort of combination or tactical idea. But I didn't find it. Didn't find it during the game. I'm always hampered by the fact that my knight can't leave f3 due to the mate threat on g2. Well, let's just check out the engine, see what it says. Yeah, it says rook c2. What does it say about e4? Oh, I could also do this. That's another permutation of this. And then take. He sacks the queen. Take. Interesting. This is another way to do it. Rook takes f7, rook takes f7, take on g3. I would probably take black here, to be honest. even if the computer says it's slightly better for white. Black looks really solid. He's got, what do we have going on material-wise? Bishop and rook for the queen. Pawns are equal. So black's down 1 point of material, but I think the bishop pair and this very nice piece on d5 makes up for it. Oh, and black can also take another pawn. Yeah, that was a key moment in the game, wasn't it? This position. So I retreated and brought the rook back. There's no doubt in my mind that white was better here. It was just kind of a question how to proceed. So rook c8. Trade. I got my queen over to a4. And here. I wonder if I had anything strong at this point. I don't think I missed anything. Just played rook c1. This endgame looked really nice for me. My technique wasn't so strong after this, but yeah, I mean, his pieces are cut off from the queen side, and I'm trying to just go and scavenge those pawns. Here. See, originally, I was planning on moving the bishop back somewhere, like bishop e5 or something, but then it occurred to me, like, well, why can't I just take this? Because he gets the rook a8 in, but I get rook c7. That's key. Defending my bishop and attacking his. He retreats. Did I miss anything here? I think I played rook c8, which does lead to a pawn up endgame. Bishop d3. Yeah, I thought about bringing the bishop back here, but what happens if just knight d6? I can take. What happens if he takes here? Bishop c5 is good. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I could see that. And then he's got some coordination problems. So I went rook c8. Yeah, this is quite good as well, though. I have a nice advantage. Here I was hoping he would play knight c4 so I could play pawn a4. And his pawn is pinned. If he captures, he loses his knight. But he avoided that trick. He went here. I played bishop b4. Then g5. Ah, okay, bishop b7 was how I could trap his knight, essentially. I went here planning for f3, but I forgot that he had g3 to go to, now that I played f3. So if I had just played bishop b7 here, his only way to escape is to do something like that. But, oh yeah, then his knight ends up getting trapped anyways, h4. That's cute. So, that would have been nice. I was focused on trying to attack this with the pawn. Didn't occur to me that bishop b7 was just decisive. Oh yeah, and my time is much better here too. I'm up a pawn.
Check.
Yeah, now he kind of wriggled free a little bit. And I started preparing f3 and then, or sorry, g3 and then f4. But maybe I hurried too much in playing f5. I was checking out his clock and he was pretty far down, but f5 was a little hasty because knight g5. Yeah, I probably should have checked on d4 now. I just didn't know what to do after king f8. Engine says just give him this pawn. And then do what? Bishop b7? It doesn't make sense to me. Well, f5, yeah, f5 was definitely hurried. I mean, I should maybe improve my king a little bit more, or perhaps play h4 even to take away the g5 square. I'm not sure about h4 because it puts another pawn on a dark square. Like maybe he can play bishop d8. But this was a little hasty. Yeah, now his prospects for a draw are significantly increased. It's just really annoying that after the coming bishop c6 move, I don't have a good square for my knight. In retrospect, maybe I should try knight e7, take and take, but I didn't think my winning chances were anything special here. Yeah, actually my knight's in some danger even. So it's hard to see how I'm going to avoid the transition to the opposite color bishop endgame now. So he just did this. Okay, if I had played d6, yeah, what would happen? Because I played, what, king e4? And just allowed his bishop to come back? Yeah, d6 would be the way to go, wouldn't it? I wonder if he can still draw this. Because if I can get over to c5 with this current position of his bishop on a5 and the pawn on b4, well, then I'm in business because king b5 will be threatened. So let's say king f8, king e4, king e8, king here. Yeah, this is not looking too good for him, is it? Well, maybe. I don't know. Let's say here, king c4, king c4, king d7. So king c6, bishop d8, the computer says, bishop c4. Ah, okay. Yeah, it seems to be a win. So I can put my bishop here, go king b5 and win this pawn, and I don't think I lose this. Actually, his bishop's even running out of squares. So d6 might have been the way to go, and I still have winning chances. Engine giving a line like this. I'm trying to set up a fortress after this. Ooh, this is good. Yeah, this is probably also a win for white. Well, engine eval gives it away, but yeah, that also is a win, isn't it? Yeah. So king e4, and then I brought my king over, but he just has a fortress. It's nothing for me to do. I can only try to trick him here, but you know, with the 1 second increment, I'm not going to be playing for the flag, most definitely. And this is a situation, even if we had this amount of time in a 5-0 game, like in the 5-minute pool, I would give him a draw because I have nothing here. There's no theoretical way to win if he just keeps his fortress intact, protecting b4, protecting f6. So, alright, so lots of missed opportunities in this game. Christof did defend well in time pressure, especially transitioning to that opposite color bishop endgame. Really wish I would have seen that bishop e4 move on, or bishop b7 move attacking e4 way back when his, where was that move? Let's just go back 10. Yeah, like right before I played knight e1, bishop b7. That was a big missed opportunity, along with some other technical stuff. But okay, next let's check out the final game. So this one I had significantly more problems. I was defending almost this entire game. So started out in our previous battle where he was white. I played knight f6, and then he played queen c2. So he seems to like these systems with queen c2, an early development of that queen. It's maybe like a secondary theoretical line. Of course, like most people play knight c3 or pawn e3 at this point, but queen c2, black has to know what they're doing to equalize against that. I just felt like throwing him a curveball, so e6. And we did get this position that really resembles a Cambridge Springs defense. Actually, I saw a game from the Women's European Rapid Championship, I think, between two pretty strong grandmasters, women player grandmasters, where bishop d3 was played. But I think after take, and take, white was already losing a piece here. I think it was a game Pates versus Gunina. Yeah, and I just won a piece because of the hanging knight on g5 and the hanging bishop on d3. So Christof did not go into that, though. So he played bishop here. Oh, actually, I wish I would have thought about this during the game. But I wonder if I could do... So what happened? Bishop b4 here. I wonder if I could do g5 in this position. Just to try to deflect a defender. Because if he takes with the knight, then I take on d2, right? And I win a piece. If he takes with the bishop, I also take on d2.
Check.
And I'm going to win a piece, right? Here and here. Yeah, so after g5, what would he do? Bishop g3 more than likely, but then I was thinking g4 to try to drive this knight away. Now maybe he can go rook d1 and just reinforce this. It's probably the defense. But still, I wish I would have looked at this possibility. Let's just see if g5 is anything. No. Computer gives bishop g3, g4, oh, and then queen d1. Less natural than rook d1, but I guess that also works. Because now he's renewing the threat of taking on b4. So I just castled.
Check.
And we traded these pieces. I did think he would take with the rook here and play for a kingside attack. But he chose to go into an endgame. I mean, that does make sense because he has the bishop pair and a space advantage, so the endgame is going to be a little better for him.
Check.
So I traded and played rook e8. This b6 plan. Let's just see if the engine has any way of playing that's alternative to b6. a5. Wants to like clamp down on the a4 square. He took... It'd be nice to take back this way, but bishop b5 is awkward. In fact, practically winning, according to the engine. Yeah, and then if a6, he gets in here. This just seems... I took a look at this position, it just seemed icky. I don't know how to unwind so easily. Oh, bishop b8 he even has. That's cute. Because if I take, he takes here. So, yeah. So I took with the e-pawn for that reason. He went rook c2. I played bishop b7, bishop d3. Just sunk the knight in on e4. Took. I was a little surprised he let me take on g3, but maybe he just didn't deem it necessary to bother like trying to keep the dark square bishop. That is a good piece for him, but maybe now, like bishop f4, I was going to play g5, and bishop e5, I have f6. So I think I can hunt that piece down if I really want to. So he just let me take. b4 was a good idea. This caused me a lot of time troubles, because I think I probably spent close to a minute on this move. Let's see. Oh no, okay. It's about 30 seconds, but Yeah, a minute on this move. So making the decision what to do after b4 was not easy. Because I don't think I want to allow him to play b5. He might temporarily go down a pawn, but if I allow him to go b5 and he takes, his rook infiltrates to c7, especially with me having a weak back rank. That's no good. It's almost like I need time to make a couple moves. I need time to play h5 or g6, and then put my rook on f6, so that his rook on c2 has to stay tied to this pawn. But I want to be able to play both of those, g6 and rook f6. Because if I just play one, like if I play rook f6 here, and b5 all the same, and if I take, the rook comes in. Like just one real simple line to illustrate this is if here, bishop takes b5 is just winning for him. I'm pressuring f2, but it doesn't matter. My back rank is committing some sins here. So I just lose in this case. So for that reason, I played, what, a6? Yeah, a6. He went here, and I played b5. I didn't really like making that move because I have so many pawns on light squares now, and this pawn on c6 is backward. But I just didn't want to have to think about the b5 idea anymore. I have a feeling I can hold this position if I play well, but it's not fun. Maybe somewhere around here I could have disrupted his play. He played strong though, like he played rook e2. I mentioned in the game that he had problems bringing his king over to the center/king side, which is where he wants it, because then the c-file would be open. But he has problems because he can't do it right away because the f2 pawn hangs. And with my other rook on e8, he can't move his f2 pawn because I take on e3. So there's a slight dilemma for him. Yeah, and then he locked it up. That was a little surprising. I didn't think he would lock it up. I thought he'd retain the option of capturing on b5. But when he does lock it up, he is essentially playing up a pawn in this position. Yeah, I was in pretty severe time pressure at this point, too. And he hasn't done anything to allow me back in the game. Maybe e4 could have been prepared longer for him, but I'm still defending even after this. I put the rook on d6. Yeah, he kept control very well. This was kind of like our previous game where he was white. I just didn't have a lot of opportunities to go on the offensive. I was kind of playing defense for much of it. f4 was a nice idea. Possibly I should have thought about playing g5 myself before his pawn reaches f4. But I think it's going to get there no matter what, because let's say I had played g5. I mean, he could always play g3 and then renew this threat. Although potentially there's some problems with this g4 pawn. Still, though, the engine thinks it's maybe something I should have considered. Yeah, and g5 was a losing mistake, wasn't it? I guess I just got to sit tight and play bishop d7. It's very nice for him, though, isn't it? Yeah, that d5 breakthrough, that same breakthrough, that could be rough. If he can force the rooks off, that's key. If he can force the rooks off, because then, even if I go win his g4 pawn, it doesn't matter if he gets this and takes my a6 pawn. That's game over. His king also has a straight shot into my queenside pawns. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell where I went wrong on this one because, well, clearly g5 at the end was a mistake, but this whole endgame, it seems like he kept control very well, despite the time pressure for both sides. Like, he's down to less time than me, but yeah, that 1 second increment, this is not a big deal for him. He can play a lot of moves very quickly. Yeah, and here, unfortunately, I had to trade rooks. If I move my rook, the bishop on d7 hangs. So, yeah, now this is losing. I mean,
check.
So passive, and he could just bring his king in at will towards my queenside pawns. So I threw in the towel here. Good game by Christof on this one. Let's just go back for a second. I think if I were to be critical of myself, I maybe have to devise a better setup, like shortly after the knight is exchanged for the bishop on g3. I see the engine is proposing a5, like playing more proactively on the queen side. That may be a good idea. There's no doubt he retains an edge here, though. So I think I kind of just got, I slowly drifted into a passive position after this trade on d2. Maybe I should have tried the radical g5 in this position. Hindsight's 20/20 though.
Check.
Okay, well, two pretty interesting games against Mr. Chess Explained, and I'm really glad that he agreed to play this match. This is kind of fun. I think we both really like each other's channel, and he's been doing his channel obviously much longer than I have, so I really like the way he plays and commentates. So I'm just going to tell him good games. I'm sure we're going to talk about them, him and I, right after this video finishes. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I'll talk to you guys later.